Good evening and welcome to News Center. I'm Parikshit Luthra. More than 15 months after Russia invaded Ukraine, Vladimir Putin is facing a potential threat to his grip on power. Driven by a feud with Russia's defense minister, a group of mercenaries called the Wagner Group occupied military buildings in southern Russian city of Rostov-on-Don. They plan to march towards Moscow with group's leader Yevgeny Prigozhin, slamming Russian defense minister's handling of the war and accusing him of bombing Wagner fighters. Prigozhin has been a close ally of Vladimir Putin so far and has armed rebellion to Kremlin by surprise. A visibly angry Vladimir Putin made a television address rallying against what he called deadly threat to the Russian state. Belarus stepped in and brokered a truce, after which Wagner Group halted its march to Moscow and left the city of Rostov-on-Don as well. The aborted mutiny in Russia shows cracks in the Putin government, said U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. China has downplayed the incident, calling it an internal matter of Russia. So what does this mutiny mean for Putin and his grip on power? Let's go across to, we've got Ashok Sajjanhar, former Indian ambassador, and we're also joined by Sergey Dvoryanov, president at IDC Russia. Ambassador Sajjanhar, if I can begin with you, how does this really impact Putin's war effort? It is being widely said by Western countries, US and the European Union, that we've not seen the last of this episode. There is more to come.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think we have seen the last of this because, after Yevgeny Prigozhin, he seems to have left Rostov-na-Don for Belarus. I don't think there is anything known about him as to his location, his, where he is at the moment and how he is. And of course, there have been a large number of reports that said that, if anyone falls foul of Putin, then the experience over the past 20 years suggests that those persons will not be safe. They will not be able to survive. And so Prigozhin, he might be able to survive for the coming days or weeks, but his end will definitely be very near. And the Wagner group will also be decimated, will not be given any responsibility because Putin will take this very, very seriously. As far as the stature of Putin is concerned, I think definitely it is a big blow to his stature. I think globally his stature had been diminished quite significantly as a result of the war, and now domestically also. The fact that he was not able to see this coming, the intelligence failed so miserably that no one knew anything about it. And so I think that will definitely have a very huge impact as far as the influence and the control that Putin has in the country. Right.
Sergey Dvoryanov, do we know about the kind of action that Putin may take against the Wagner Group chief and all the soldiers, all the mercenaries who are a part of this private army?
First of all, we know that President of Belarus, Lukashenko, was a mediator of this conflict. And thanks God, he was very wisdom and support Russia Federation during this difficult time. And according to the blessings of God, because I'm a believer, and I believe that Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine, it's the same family of a same nation, and our language is similar. All our history, roots, culture is similar. And this war is not a product of politics of now our national leader, Vladimir Putin. It was conflict which was created by force and pressure of Western countries and very well organized. And thanks God, we have situation where wisdom of such a kind of politicians like Lukashenko give to us a hope, a chance to save our population, and because that conflict, of course, not favorable during our conflict and space separation in Ukraine. And because himself, Lukashenko, like a president, gives a guarantee to Wagner Group, I don't think so that it will be that the guarantee will be broken in future. I hope it will be soft. All problems will be
Right.
solved.
Let me get in Ambassador Sajjanhar once again. Ambassador Sajjanhar, what do you think could have been the possible terms on which Lukashenko, the Belarusian president, managed to pull back Wagner troops and also their chief?
Yeah, I don't think it's very clear as yet, Parikshit, but what has been reported in the media, I am privy basically only to that, which says that he was given safe passage, and also the Wagner fighters were also given amnesty of sorts, that there would be no cases that would be, taken up against them. But of course, I think we need to recognize that there was damage. There was an aircraft that was shot down. There were a number of people, Russian soldiers who were there. They have died. So I don't know whether how this all this thing can continue, that you give amnesty to all these people. And then, as you had mentioned, Parikshit, the Wagner Group has anything between 20,000 to 50,000 fighters. So what is going to happen to them if Prigozhin goes to Yevgeny Prigozhin goes to Belarus, and he's given no power, no authority, and it is also not known, as I said, where he is at the moment, whether his fighters are also accompanying him or not. It is not known, and so I think still it is very, very unclear, the terms and conditions possibly that Alexander Lukashenko might have given to him, that all the cases are taken off him and his fighters, and that he'll be given safe passage to Belarus, and no action will be taken against him. But as I said, past experience...
Do you think, Ambassador Sajjanhar...
Yeah, sure.
Ambassador Sajjanhar, do you think that with this incident, Putin will be able to continue with his war effort, considering the Wagner Group was playing a crucial role? They had about 40 to 50,000 fighters in Ukraine. At the same time, Prigozhin was somebody who was known as Putin's chef at one point in time, a long-time aide who had been with him for almost 20 years or so. So will this make the administration, those close to Putin, question the very premise on which he's fighting this war against Ukraine?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think there is, the fact that Prigozhin was so close to Putin, and Prigozhin in the past has been, very vituperative against Sergei Shoigu, as also General Gerasimov. So, and still no action was taken against him. He had also charged both these leaders, saying that, they were not giving them supplies and equipment, and they had also bombarded them, and no action was taken against either of them. So I think this is, this raises very many question marks. And we have seen, Parikshit, that the morale of the Russian forces has been very low. For instance, many of the major victories on the Ukraine front, they have been achieved by Prigozhin, by the Wagner Group. For instance, this months-long battle on to capture Bakhmut, it has been, the success was all due to the Wagner Group and due to Prigozhin. And so I think the morale, in my view, looking at this mutiny, will further decline of the Russian forces. I think it's going to be an uphill task. Of course, right now they are in a strong position because they are in a defensive position. They are not offensive. They are not attacking to take land, but they are defending the positions. So maybe it's not so difficult for them. But yes, definitely it will have a very deleterious and a negative impact on their performance and morale.
Sergey Dvoryanov, do you get a sense that President Putin will be able to continue the war for long, considering how close the Wagner Group was to the Russian president, how close the Wagner chief was to Putin as well?
I think that today we can predict that all society, all Russia we can see even statistics. More than 80% of population support our national leader. Because that is not a war of Vladimir Putin personally. That is a war which supports our civilization, our choice, which based on moral principles, on spiritual traditions, on all our history. Sometimes during difficult times, you know, for example, Joseph Stalin also sometimes changed generals in the battlefield. He did some decision, hard decision. And Prigozhin was quite sincere in his vision how to make our defense, how to make our military more stronger. That was his intention. But at the same time, we should understand that he is not educated personality. He was not educated in military, and before he was close to our national leader in other activity, which is not professional. That's why we can call him like a social activist. Himself, from the depths of his heart, he wants to make our country more stronger, and that's why I'm very thankful to President Lukashenko, who was wisdom, who negotiated during this conflict, which is a conflict of vision. That is a Prigozhin vision. Our president, of course, because he is a deep experience politician, he can see more deep vision. But finally, I can predict that our society will be more stronger, and it will be more support of our national leader, Vladimir Putin, in future, because it's our mission of Russia. We always support peace. We always pray spirituality during all our 1,000, more than 1,000 history.
We've run out of time.
And we'll always fight to support our country.
Right. Okay, we've run out of time. Sergey Dvoryanov, Ambassador Sajjanhar, thanks once again for joining us. But clearly, we've not seen the last of what has happened with the mutiny by the Wagner group. Let's see how this unfolds in the days to come and whether we get any clarity on how the truce was called by Lukashenko. We're going to take a short break at this point, but up next, banks indicate they need more time to implement the new FEMA rules, imposing a 20% tax collected at source on forex transactions, travel agents and tour operators. Right to the Prime Minister, requesting that some of the tax rate hikes be rolled back. A special discussion on this with tour operators on the other side.